Hello and welcome all. We wish to get acquainted with very important topic which is related with particulate matter. More popularly, it is also called as particulate pollution as far as air pollution is concerned. Here, we'll think about particulate matter in terms of their definitions, their distributions, and broad sources as well as their effects. In general, particulate matter is a complex mixture of extremely small particles and also some liquid droplets. They could be made up of number of components including acids, organic chemicals, metals as well as soil and also dust particles. We can say any material which is except free water that exists in the solid or liquid state in the atmosphere or gaseous stream can be treated as particulate. If we consider atmosphere as a whole, the particulate which is airborne in nature can be treated to have general range of 0.001 micron to 500 microns. The bulk of mass of the particulate lies in between 0.1 micron to 10 micron. The particulate which is having the size less than 0.1 micron can be treated to be molecule and it is characterized by large Brownian movements. The particulate which is having 1 micron to 20 micron size, it behaves as if it is gas. The particulate which is having 20 micron plus size, it is characterized by large settling velocities. Let's think about some particulate definitions because we wish to attach some specific meaning when we use specific term to express certain particulate. Say for example, aerosol is airborne particulate. Essentially, it is dispersion of microscopic solid or liquid particles in gaseous media. In general, any solid particle larger than colloidal size in temporary suspension in the atmosphere can be treated to be dust. As we consider the stack gas emitting in the form of flue gas, as we popularly say, it consists of number of particulate and that is treated as fly ash. Whereas fog, mist are the terms more related with natural phenomena and that are nothing but visible aerosols and liquid droplets of sufficient size to fall down respectively. As we consider these last three rows, it tells us about specific classes of particulate. In general, all the air quality monitoring programs major particulate as PM10. Here, this PM10 content is nothing but the particles which are having size less than or equal to 10 micron. These are inhalable particles and could be considered in terms of four distinct fractions. The first one is coarse fraction. It is also termed as thoracic fraction. So, here the coarse fraction of the PM10 is in between that has size of 2.5 micron to 10 micron as such. Whereas the particulate which is having the size less than 2.5 micron can be treated as fine fraction of PM10. The ultrafine content has less than 0.1 micron size, whereas nanoparticles have size less than 50 nanometers. The particular distribution can be considered in the ranges of 0.5 to 30 micron. Here, the first row that you see is depicting the size range of 10 to 30 micron. The average size can be treated as 20 micron. The count of that particular particulate is considered to be 1, whereas out of the total distributions, their percentage is treated as 27%. As you see the last row, here the particulate size range is 0 to 0.5 micron. Average size can be regarded as 0.25 micron, whereas their count is almost 57,000, though their percentage is just 1. Here, this particular distribution suggests us that as we deal with particulate which is having range of 0 to 1 micron, though their percentage is hardly 3%, their count is such a voluminous, and with the size under consideration, it can easily enter into the bloodstream, lungs, and is very dangerous as far as human health is concerned. Hence, though the particulate fraction is very small, having their count very high, and as they are very difficult to manage, and as they are likely to produce through number of sources with voluminous counts, their fraction needs more attention. This is a particular table which is given by Lappel. The reference is mentioned here. It tells us about the particular diameter expressed on horizontal axis, as well as the vertical axis, so to say, is depicting lot many important characteristics such as their diffusion coefficient, their terminal settling velocity, as well as the kind of the equipment that could be adopted in order to establish control on this particular range of the particulate. the methods that we can adopt in order to determine their particular sizes, and certain examples associated with that kind of particulate as well as gas dispersers. Even it is telling us about some technical definitions attached with that particular size ranges. One thing that you should consider here, that though it is telling us about particular diameter, here usually we expect diameter to be an obvious property of spherical diameter. But as far as air pollution sources are concerned, the particulate could be having any irregular shape in addition to spheroids. They could be angular, they could be rod-like, and hence we cannot attach this particular diameter term the way we conventionally adopt. Here, as far as this content is concerned, and as far as the particulate pollution is concerned, we have to think about diameter for non-spherical particle to mean diameter of sphere of equal volume of the particle under consideration. You may go through the various contents that are explained by Lappel through these particular tables. All these particular particles are emitted through range of the sources. It could be natural, like volcanic eruption. It could be artificial, like the range of the industries, may it steel, foundry, metallurgy, refinery, etc. Or it could be just emission of the fugitive dust from the road surfaces. Just to have the feel and the kind of the particulate which we come across, you can think of this particular table. Here, let's consider the example of steel as an industry. Conventionally, furnace is adopted in the steel mills. The particulate emitted could be iron oxides, dust, as well as the smokes. If we consider a certain, say, cement-like industry, here the major source is kiln, dryer, and the particulate could be characterized in the form of processed dust as well as this particular alkali. Just to think of the range of the particulate with which we deal, let's consider a sand particle which has size of 20 to 2000 micron. As such, here this 2000 micron size can be considered to be very coarse particle. Some industrial particle pollutants, say for example pulverized coal, which has size range of 3 to 400 micron, may be created mechanically. But most crushing and grinding processes do not produce the particles smaller than size of 10 micron as such. Whereas most of the fine particulate are obtained by combustion, evaporation, as well as condensation like processes. Let's consider the size of the particulate and its potential risk, as the size of the particle is directly linked to its health problem. Small particles less than 10 micron in diameter pose the greatest problems because they can get deep into the lungs and some may even get into the bloodstreams. Small particles are of concern and they are treated as inhalable particulate These are ranging in between 2.5 micron to 10 micron, the way we discussed earlier. Here, as we consider ultrafine, fine or coarser particulate range, we usually expect the legislation to set some such standards which will protect the human health in general as well as the welfares associated with public. Even we expect all our property as well as in general the atmosphere to be protected because of the potential risk of the kind of the particulate. So, the health effects can be attached like lung function, aggravated asthma, chronic bronchitis, irregular heartbeats, non-fatal heart attacks, as well as even the premature deaths. We can attach even certain environmental effects as the particulate is present in between the object to be seen and the recipient. The rays originating from the object and reaching the recipient may get scattered and hence there is a visibility reduction. As well as in order to form water droplet to cause precipitation to form fog as well as for the formation of the cloud, there has to be presence of certain particulate in the form of certain nuclei. As well as it is also a cause of absorption, reflection, as well as transmission from a particulate, and hence it is associated with solar radiation reduction. It can also be associated with the making lakes and streams acidic, changing the nutrient balance in coastal waters, as well as even certain large water bodies, depleting the nutrients in soil, damaging sensitive forest, farm crops, as well as affecting the diversity of ecosystems. In general, the particulate pollution is also associated with aesthetical damage. Through this particular presentation, we considered particulate matter as a complex mixture of extremely small particles and liquid droplets. The particulate is originated because of numerous processes, be it natural or artificial. There is a sizable variation depending on the source as well as the processes through which that particulate are generated. There are a lot many risks associated with their size and that are not simply related with the human health but also associated with property, public welfare, as well as the other atmospheric conditions. Thank you.